And welcome back. So you watched this video right here, and now you have a basic understanding of candlesticks, how to read them, you know how to read a price chart. So what's next? Next, you need to understand how to find support and resistance, and how to identify trend lines. So let's get started. Alright, so let's dive into technical analysis on how to identify support and resistance and trend lines. Alright, support and resistance, what they are and what they do is they identify supply and demand zones, essentially buyers and sellers. So the best way to break it down is, say, actually it might be better if I visual aid. Okay, say right here is $50. The stock comes up, it's been going up, and it hits $50. But it's having a hard time breaking above it. So say it's going down, then back up, and then down, back up. It keeps hitting it. So basically, that $50 level is a level of resistance, because that is a level where sellers are selling. There's an overhead of supply. It's holding it down. It can't break. You can't get above that price. And it could either do two things. It could either break out and continue higher, or it could be rejected and continue lower. Sometimes they break, come down, and they come back up and retry. So that is essentially a resistance level. So it goes same for support. Price be going down to, we'll say, here's $20. Comes down and it bounces up. Then that means at that level there's people that think that stock has value at $20 and it's worth a buy, and so therefore it will bounce off of that support zone. You get it? Support comes down because it supported it higher. Resistance is, or going up is resistance because it resisted going higher. One thing to note about support and resistance is resistance becomes support and support becomes resistance. So basically it means that level holds significance, and something that happens quite a bit. And I know some people that do this as their regular trading strategy. So once again, we'll say here is the $50 mark, right? So price comes up, hits it, gets rejected, consolidates for a minute, then boom, it breaks it, right? Now price, typically what it does is once it breaks, comes back down and retests that $50 level, and that's where some people will buy a position, and then in anticipation that it will continue higher. And that goes same for the down way as well. That's where it's going down in bearish markets. But that is support and resistance. It's a significant price level where price is expected to either break out or get rejected. It's where the bulls and bears, buyers and sellers fight, and it's going to go one way or the other. The question is, which way? So that is support and resistance. And trend lines. So trend line is a line driven over pivot highs or under pivot lows to show the prevailing direction of price. Trend lines are a visual representation of support and resistance at any time frame. They show direction and speed of price, and also described patterns for or during periods of price contraction, also known as consolidation. So, but a break in a trend line can result in a significant move once it is broken, and I have a few examples of that. So trend lines are significant. They are support and resistance, but they don't really pertain to price. They more pertain to pattern. And actually, I'll show you what that means. So as far as pattern goes for a trend line, so you connect, like I said, the pivot lows. So all these little pivots right here, that's a really bad one. Hold on. So you see how it hits there, all those in there. It's weird. It's interesting how it can actually hold it. And there's also a trend line right there. Or I guess that's a horrible drawing line. But see if I can do this again. Something like that. You get the picture. You're just touching peaks. And then right here, so basically Facebook's kind of forming an ascending triangle. So that is trend lines. And like I said, they move with speed when it's broken. So this one right here, when that was broken, you see you got this parabolic move down. But then volume came in right here, and because ultimate trend is higher, so buyers came in at this level and bought it right back up. So that is a trend line. Now, support and resistance. It's easy to tell, especially with these boxes all over. It's easy to kind of line it up with price. So right here, you can see that 200 was a price level, 220, and now 240. It kind of looks like it moves in $20 increments, doesn't it? And so that is how you find support and resistance. So we'll use this $200 level, for example. It was holding it down right here, but right here it held it up. So resistance became support. And then you can keep going across. Oh, look right here. It was support again. So you can see that buyers, someone somewhere out there believes $200 is a good buy. So therefore it held it. Right here, 220, it was held down. Right here, 220 held it down. It kind of tested it right there. And then that's into that price level. And this happens on all the stocks. I got another one right here. I got Amazon. So we can find support and resistance level. Kind of the 2400 level, kind of not really. It's not a very clean setup. The 2600 level, the 2800 level, and you see, so that's how, same thing like right here, that hammer candle from the previous video, this one right there. So we have this ascending triangle. So an ascending triangle is, there's resistance right there, a trend line that is making higher highs until eventually it breaks, particularly with more volume like it did right there. And then it usually accelerates higher. But at the 2400 level, it came up, came back down, retested it, and then it continued higher ultimately from that level. So that is the gist of support and resistance, just a price level where it shows significance of more buyers coming in or more sellers, and where price is going to be dictated about going higher or lower. Now I'm going to pull up my Thinkorswim on demand. We'll go back to, we'll say 2017, and how about, we'll go to April 2017, and we'll pull up some stocks and draw some trend lines and support and resistance levels, and then go forward, we'll say a few months, and we'll see if it held. And you can see the significance of it. I've seen them hold down to a penny, and that's another thing. Keep in mind, these levels are more of a zone, not a per penny value. So it's more of an area versus pinpoint. So, all right, let me get that up. Okay, now that I got Thinkorswim up, what I say was 2017 April and about 10:05. Let's pull it up. All right, so here we can zoom out. So here we are in Facebook. Here we're gonna do something else. What's a stock that everyone likes or liked trading back in the day? How about here? We'll just use Facebook because it's clean. All right, so we could come to this peak. And you can drag it up, touching up as many as we can. The more peaks, the better. So here you can see that it's hitting all those levels. And then as far as price levels go, we can edit these, and we can write extension, and let me get the default so it goes. Boom. Alright, where's another one? Boom. 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 So you get the point. You see how it... I'll highlight it here in a second. Okay. Well, you can see how it hit there, hit there, all those. Ooh. All of that spot. Okay, I'm sure you get the picture. So that is support and resistance. Those are specific prices where things are expected to move. And now we can go, let's go to June. See if it continues going higher, then it's obviously not going to do anything. Well, you see we didn't come back down. But you see the trend line held significant still. Or actually, this is what we can do. We can go to present day, because we had that recent market correction. And see if we touch any of those levels. Come on. We never even got to them, but actually if you look right here in October when it went down this level at 123, look at that, came right down to it and reversed. So there's your very good example of support and resistance. I'll highlight that if you don't see what I'm talking about. That right there. So we made all these lines over here and it continued higher, right? Came back down, touched it, and support held. Now I'm pretty sure you get the idea of how support and resistance works and how to do it. Go to any charting platform, and if you don't have a Thinkorswim, go to Finviz. That's free. You can look at their charts for free. Go to finviz.com. And you can plot out support and resistance on your own and see how they work, and you can see them work. It's very interesting. So if to ever kind of figure out what's going to happen in price, all you have to do is look to the left at the past history, and you could get a pretty good or a high probability guess at where it's going. And if you have any questions, please write them in the comment section below. If you haven't already, subscribe. That's all I have for this. Like I said, it's really cut and dry, easy. There's this video. I'm sure there's tons of other videos over support and resistance and trend lines. It's very easy to do. And yeah, stay tuned for the next video. Thanks for watching. Take care.